Some nights arrive heavy. You did not plan the weight. You close your eyes and the same worries come back. Small things grow teeth in the quiet. Old mistakes replay like a low song. Fear whispers about what might happen tomorrow. You might believe that prayer means fixing every problem quickly. You might think peace equals silence of every worry. Those are misunderstandings. They are like thinking the sky clears because the sun goes down. Peace is not only the absence of trouble. Peace is a companion who sits with you in the dark. You may have thought God is far when the night feels long. You may have felt he left you to fend for yourself. That is not the whole picture. Psalm 13 says, and it shows what it looks like to feel forgotten. The words there are like someone asking how long before help comes. It speaks of raw honesty with God when you feel unseen. It tells you it is okay to name the pain. It also gently points to hope, even amid the question. So when you sit with your fears tonight, you are not the first to wonder if God listens. The psalm teaches that your honest feelings can be turned into prayer. You do not have to hide your doubt. You do not have to dress your words in proper rhyme. Speak plainly. Tell God what you feel. That is part of learning how to let His peace come. Think of your heart as a small room. Night comes and the shadows make corners deeper. When you open the door and say what is inside, light can come in. When you hold it all in, fear can feel permanent. Start small. Name one worry. Say its shape in your head. Breathe once slowly. Tell God you are tired of carrying it alone. And notice how even the act of naming can ease the load a little. You do not need to solve everything before sleep. You do not need to tidy your mind like cleaning a messy room. Let one corner be cared for. Practice tonight by saying a single sentence to God. Tell Him the one fear that wakes you. Say it simply, as you would to a good friend. He hears you. He is not surprised. Even longings that feel selfish are safe to speak. When you speak them, you begin to trade the heavy silence for a kind, listening presence. That listening is the first step toward peace. It does not erase the struggle right away. It starts a path. It makes the night less lonely. Imagine a small lamp in your room. When you switch it on, the darkness is not gone. You can still see shadows, but the lamp gives a place to rest your eyes. God's listening works like that lamp. It is not a quick fix. It is a steady light in the night. If worry wakes you again, tell God the same thing. There is no limit to the honesty you can bring. Your questions can sit beside trust. Your anger can sit beside hope. You are allowed to be human. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to come with a heart that does not have the right words. The psalm helps you see that your voice matters. It invites you to bring your rawness to God. It offers a gentle start into deeper peace. Before you try to sleep, try one small action. Say your one sentence. Breathe. And imagine light entering that corner of your room. Let that be the start of a friendship with calm. Do not rush. Peace grows slowly like a plot under a lamp. It needs steady care, not sudden miracles. Be patient with yourself tonight. Night does not only bring fear, and it can also be a teacher. Hard nights shape you like slow water shape stone. The pressure is not kind, but it is meaningful. You learn what matters when the noise falls away. You learn who you turn to in the dark. Hard nights can teach trust by practice. Each time you meet the dark, you practice handing things over. You learn small courage by doing it again. Growth often comes through difficulty. It grows in steps that feel too small to notice. You may not feel stronger at first. The change is like the slow sprout under soil. You see nothing for a while. Then one day a green tip breaks the surface. You look back and realize the ground was working all along. Psalm 23 says, "And it presents God as a shepherd who cares in both light and dark." The image there is simple and warm, and it shows a guide who brings rest beside still waters and walks with you through deep valleys. It tells you that company is constant, that presence makes the hard parts less scary. It means growth happens not in isolation, but with care. You are not forced to be brave alone. The shepherd guides gently, not with harsh commands. He leads to places of rest, not constant struggle. That steady leading is how growth through difficulty looks. Think of your night like a long road. Sometimes the road bends into a valley. You cannot see the sky there. The shepherd walks beside you with a lamp. You might stumble, but you are not abandoned. This kind of guiding changes you over time. You begin to learn patience. You begin to choose small, faithful acts in the dark. You learn to breathe, to pray a single sentence, to let sleep come when it can. And those small things are the work of growth. They add up. They become habits that build a steady heart. Growth through difficulty also teaches compassion. When you know nights that hurt, you will be tender with others who wake to pain. Your own wounds become paths to comfort. That is how grace expands. You become a channel of peace for those who need it. Do not rush the lesson. Do not try to speed up the shaping. Growth takes time. Trust the quiet rhythms. Let your heart soften toward the pace of grace. You are mending in ways you may not yet see. There is nothing shameful about not being whole. The shepherd knows this. He does not scold you for the slow parts. He walks with you in them. Practice trusting one small, overnight rhythm. Maybe choose a short phrase to repeat as you lie down. Let it be your map through the valley. Over time, that steady phrase will guide your steps. The dark will be less foreign. The shepherd's presence will feel closer. You will notice growth, not as a sudden fix, but as a slow deepening of peace. There is a simple truth that helps at night. It is small and steady. God is peace, not a trick. He offers rest when you walk toward Him. Perseverance matters, but it is not a show of toughness. It is a quiet return to God again and again. When you practice returning, your heart learns that peace is found in small, faithful steps. You do not need a perfect prayer or a perfect silence. You need a regular habit of coming. Psalm 37 says, and it teaches trust and patience. It asks you to commit your way to God and wait quietly for Him. Its words invite calm endurance, not frantic striving. Yet the psalm pictures trust as a rooted tree that does not panic during drought. It chooses steady hope over quick reactions. That image fits the night well. When worry steals over you, you can choose to root your heart. That rooting happens by simple acts: a steady breath, a short prayer, a small act of kindness the next day. Those are the ways you persevere. Think of a lighthouse on a rocky shore. The light does not race or shout. It stays on. It helps ships find their way slowly and surely. Your persistence in going to God nightly is like keeping the lighthouse lit. It is not dramatic. It is steady. Over time, the lighthouse guides many into safe harbor. Perseverance also softens fear. When you return to God again and again, fear loses some of its power. The night still comes, but you know a place inside that does not panic, that you will still have rough nights. That is normal. But the habit of returning helps balance them. When doubt comes, greet it without shame. Offer it one simple sentence to God. Ask for help to trust Him that night. Perseverance is not about forcing peace. It is about practicing trust. It is about choosing small, faithful steps over collapse. You do not have to do it alone. Ask a friend to pray for you. Use a short Bible phrase to repeat in your mind. Keep your phone away from your bed when possible. Make a small space that says, "Tonight is for rest." These practical rhythms support perseverance. They help you come back gently to God. Let the Psalm's image of quiet trust shape your nights. Be patient with the pace of change. Trust builds slowly, like roots drinking water under the ground. Keep going, even when you do not feel immediate results. At night, there are many temptations that can steer you away from peace. Screens offer noise that keeps your heart busy. Worry offers quick solutions that never last. Bad habits promise comfort, but leave you more tired. This is a gentle warning, not a harsh scold. Consider the choices you make when you cannot sleep. Ask if they lead toward rest or away from it. Shifting focus to Jesus changes your nighttime life in small ways. It asks you to turn the heart rather than chase distractions. Psalm 1 says, and it contrasts two paths. One that sinks with harmful choices and one that grows with steady, good habits. The psalm talks about delighting in what guides life rightly. It pictures a person like a tree planted near water. That image shows what steady focus looks like, when it helps you see that the night can either be a place where you drift into harmful habits, or a place where you plant steady roots toward Jesus. When you shift focus to Jesus, you are not trying to be perfect. You are choosing a companion who walks the dark with you. He does not shame wandering thoughts. He invites them to rest. Think of the mind as a room at night. You can either pile junk on the chair or put a warm blanket there. Choosing Jesus is like putting the blanket there. It does not force you to tidy the whole room. It gives one place to rest. This shift is practical. It might look like dimming lights an hour before bed. It might look like reading a short passage that points your heart to hope. It might look like speaking a name, Jesus, quietly before sleep. It might also mean stepping away from conversations that keep you anxious. The warning is simple. Not everything that calms the moment brings lasting peace. Some comforts leave echoes of unease. Jesus offers a deeper calm. He offers presence rather than distraction. If you are not used to focusing on him, start small. Say his name. Ask him to notice the worry you carry. Offer him one small fear and ask for a gentle reorientation. Let your eyes rest on one simple truth about him. He walked in the dark for you. He understands the night. He is not an absent guard. He is a companion. When you drift away at night, come back without guilt. Say a simple prayer. Help me turn my heart. Keep it short. Keep it kind. Over time, those small refocusings will change your nighttime habits. You will not be perfect. You will be human. Yet the habit of gently turning to Jesus will form a steady path of peace. Refining often feels painful. God's work in you is not always comfortable. Fire can feel like destruction until you see the metal shine. Pain sometimes polishes what you cannot see from the outside. God uses quiet trials to remove what keeps you from deeper peace. That does not mean God causes harm to hurt you. It means he allows shaping in loving ways. He guides the process with care and patience. Psalm 66 says, and it talks about testing and refining like a careful craftsman. It uses images of being led through difficulties that purify and strengthen. The psalm shows that the testing can lead to songs of praise. This idea gives hope for the hard nights. God's refining is not a punishment. It is like a gardener pruning dead branches so new growth can flourish. You may feel cut by the process, but the aim is fuller life. Think of a piece of pottery. It goes through heat again and again until it holds water rightly. Your heart goes through pressures until it can hold God's peace more fully. The refining process teaches patience. It asks you to allow small steps of change. It invites you to notice subtle shifts over weeks and months. You might see sudden relief sometimes. Often, the change is gradual. Let small practices be part of the refining. A short prayer at bedtime, a habit of giving one worry to God each night, a small gratitude spoken before sleep. These tiny acts are like steady taps that shape your heart. They do not always feel dramatic, but over time, the shaping becomes clear. You will notice kindness growing in your reactions. You will notice fear loosening its grip, and you will come to trust God's gentle hands. During the refining, be gentle with yourself. Do not rush the process or beat yourself for slow progress. God's work in you is patient. He walks with you through each night. You can ask Him to show you what needs refining. You can ask for courage to let go of small things that keep you anxious. You can ask for a softening of heart toward forgiveness where anger sits. Bring these requests quietly. Tell God you do not understand everything. Admit you are tired of being shaped. Ask for His steady presence. Let His patience comfort you. Even in the refining, hope is present. You will see fruits of this work. Your nights will feel safer. Your sleep will come easier. Your morning will hold a quieter mind. The process may be slow, but it is sure. Trust the gentle rhythm, and there is a promise that fits the night like a warm blanket. It is a promise of shelter and covering. It speaks of a God who protects with patient love. When you ask for His peace, you are asking to be held in that shelter. He is not distant or indifferent. He is near and attentive. You can rest in His arms like a child in a parent's lap. Psalm 91 says, and it paints a picture of God as a refuge and shelter. It uses images of protection and being covered. It shows a safe place amid danger. The psalm invites you to dwell there, not only visit for emergencies. This promise fits the night prayer beautifully. Asking God to cover you with peace is not a weak wish. It is a faith step into His shelter. It is like stepping under a large umbrella in a sudden storm. The umbrella does not stop the rain, but it keeps you dry. God's covering works the same way. He may not remove every trial, but He brings calm into the middle of it. As you ask for His peace tonight, believe that His shelter is real. You can speak to Him directly. You can say, Lord, cover me with your peace. Use your own words. Be honest and simple. Imagine His hand resting on your shoulder. Feel the warmth of a blanket He gives. Picture the shelter as a quiet room where fear cannot shout. Promise yourself to return to that image when the night wants to scare you. There are practical ways to help the prayer take hold. Dim the lights and breathe slowly. Speak a short sentence that calls God's presence. Pray for a covering over your mind, over your dreams, over your family. Bless the people you love in a sentence. Ask God to tuck you into rest. Remember, He is patient. If you wake again, ask again, as there is no limit to how often you can come. The promise includes reward. The reward is not always an easy life. It is steadier courage and a calmer heart. It is waking with hope and strength for the day. Tonight, as darkness falls, choose to ask for God's peace. Ask Him to cover you like a blanket, like a roof, like a caring hand. Ask for sleep that restores both body and heart. Ask for dreams that do not terrorize. Ask for gentle thoughts when you wake. Trust that His shelter holds you. Rest in that promise, letting it soften the edges of your fear. Breathe and let the quiet of God's presence be your lullaby. Amen.